Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I'm Wiley. If I smoke, cigars and conversations with me. We just reflecting on our day. That's pretty much what we're doing. Last couple of days is my last video chat with you. I figured I would record, what's happening, what's going on. Hang on one second. Let me charge this phone. How y'all doing today? It's a decent day. This week, if you ask me what I've been working on, I've been working on my revisions that I'm turning in to my other two committee members this week. How's that going? It's going okay. The literature review is the one that always takes the longest time. I also presented Monday night in a class for my advisor, and I taught with my advisor that class last semester. So this semester she had asked me to be a guest speaker, but it wasn't just talking about librarianship. She wanted me to talk about my dissertation proposal, and it was like the first presentation where I'm talking about my proposal, which is examining Black, queer, and trans men's information practices in digital and daily life, digital environments in daily life. Well, I actually said that out loud to more than just a Zoom screen of me by myself talking about it. In terms of like self-reflection, it was me to an audience. So what I felt like a myriad of emotions because my advisor likes pretty slides, so I had to find pretty slides. My ministry is also not graphic design. I would much rather come and talk to you and pay somebody else to do the design of the slides, because that frustrated me to no end. Like, because I think that to me, I think when you're giving talks, I like to just have images because I don't want to read the text to you. It's already on the screen, but I still want it to be visually appealing, or I still want the visuals to tell a story. And I just tell you what you're seeing or why this matters or what this means. So it went okay. And like I said, I am making edits to the actual proposal. Where am I at? The literature review. The literature review is a beast. It's an absolute beast. What I knew it was. When my second committee member starts with, don't worry, or I know it's gonna be, or it's really just. And so most of the weekend I focused on the other parts that were not as heavily focused as that literature review. So I'm at the bottom half of it. I still got to do that method stuff. So realistically, my committee members are going to get it Thursday night or Friday morning. That's what we're going with. I went to campus. Monday because I needed to print. You hearing noises and stuff. Anyway, I went to campus because I needed to print and print some things because there was a dissertation they wanted me to read, and I also like to print out my actual proposal with the comments so I can just read it. The hard copy, I like the hard copy, even though I know you can read it online. I know you can. I like to look at the hard copy. It's me killing trees, exactly. it's it's me killing trees. so I went Monday and I did that, and then I also was out anyway because I had a doctor's appointment. And then I also needed to print my talking points for my slides, and I needed to finish it. So I canceled the doctor's appointment because I don't like to be rushed. the time coming back from the doctor's appointment and the time, because I had 3 appointments, and that time I was just like, it's not gonna work out. So the bad news is, it's not bad, but I had wanted my eye appointment to be in April, but it's not gonna be until the first week of May. That's just how it works. And then, like I said, I worked on my writing, and then I went to campus for some meetings. I had an interview yesterday, and I went to a talk on Tuesday. It was about critical data studies, and they had 3 guest speakers, and that was interesting. And then I participated. They're doing oral histories. A master's student is doing one for queer people of color, Black people. So I participated in her interview process for that. And then today I worked on my writing this morning, and then I went to the reception because we have a new interim dean. She's really great people. Really great people. Excited for her to see representation of Black people. So her presentation was great. And then they had questions and they had a reception. So he had a large crowd of information science people. I don't know if anybody I'm not saying that the academic library people did not come, because they did, because it was hybrid. It was online and it was in the room. So there were a lot of people in that room. And then I couldn't tell how many people were online. I didn't see the number, but it was a crowd online too. So really good time. Also saw my friend do a presentation on resisting digital surveillance. He's doing work in Brazil, down in Carnival. I'm not sure how you say it, but he's doing really great work in Brazil, and talking about how they use facial recognition technology in drones. My God. It's like you can be excited about technology and the things that it can do, and then also see how in the wrong hands or nefarious intent or people that ideologically are not humane, that it can go really, really wrong. But it started out with, good intentions or well-meaning intent. Then there's also that saying that says the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's what my wife said. So it's scary to think about this stuff, how people use it. And then when you're asking people, what's this do? What is that? And how you get different information from the people that are actually in charge of these things. And this is happening in another country. So it's like, you start thinking, well, what happens if similar types of things happen in the United States? And to a degree, they do have facial recognition technology at the airport. Now, they tell you that you don't have to, with certain, I don't know if it's all the airports, but certain ones that I've been in have that. And they do have the opt-out feature, should you not want to do that. But it's something else. So that was my day. Just having some downtime. Also, what else was good? I watched The Residents. If y'all seen that, The Residents, it's one of Shondaland's pictures. It's a mini series. It's 8 episodes. It actually was good. It was good. But I like procedural crime, murder, mystery, cozy mysteries. I like reading those. So it was good to watch, to see what was going to happen, who did it. And it was good. I like Shondaland anyway. I loved Scandal, and I liked Grey's Anatomy. I also like Private Practice. I think I like Private Practice more than I liked Grey's Anatomy. And at this point with Grey's Anatomy, I'm like, y'all can end it now and I'll be okay. I'm said that to some fellow grad students that we sit up and talk about television shows. Because my next hobby is going to be writing about television shows and how that connections to everyday life. I really want to use television shows because people pay attention to TV shows. So yeah, but Grey's Anatomy, it can end at any moment, and I'm okay with that. Because to me, the best episodes are seasons 1 through 10 with Sandra Oh. Also, 10 through 13 are good. There's certain ones between 14 to 21 episodes that are better than others, but it can go now. It can go into the dark night. And I'll say thank you for all the seasons that you gave us. I thank you so much. Yes, that's what I would say. But I love it. But I understand, they're going to do it as long as they can. So it's not like I got to say in it anyway, but it's interesting. Because I don't think I posted that video where I talked about TV series that I watch. Because I think I did a video where I talked for an hour and a half about Sweet Magnolias, and that was only seasons 1 and 2. I haven't even posted the video about seasons 3 and 4 because I have thoughts about that one. But thanks for listening to me ramble. What you watching on TV? What are you reading? And in terms of books, I can tell you what I'm listening to that has been good to me. I got to go to my Hoopla account. Support your local library, your bookstores. Support them. I say that because I am a librarian and because I love reading. Whether you're reading a hard copy book that you can physically hold in your hand, or audio books, or you watching the movies, support your library. Support your libraries. Read to yourself, to you people that you take care of. Read to them. I love that. That's one of my favorite things when my wife and I travel. We listen to an audiobook. Yes. And I just started that on a whim because I think at the time I was working at Barnes and Noble, and this is when the car we had, the Liberty had the CD player, and I bought a book that was on. We started listening to Bosch. It used to come on Amazon, it's since stopped. I think there may be 7 seasons, and Bosch, the series, is on Amazon Prime, or at least was, as well as Bosch Legacy is based on books that are written by Connolly. Connolly is his name. Connolly, I think is his name. So we've listened to everything pretty much. Let's just think about The Lincoln Lawyer. That's a series that's I gotta get his name, the author's name, because the librarian in me has to tell you who it is. Let me see. I had to look it up. Okay, I'm saying it wrong. Michael Connolly. Yes, he does the Harry Bosch books as well as The Lincoln Lawyer. The Lincoln Lawyer is on Netflix too, and not Netflix too, but Netflix. And the Bosch series are on Amazon, and they're wrapping up the Bosch Legacy. I think it's only going to get this season that's currently coming out, and when they get to the last episode of it, I think that's done for that. Though there was talk, because he did start another series. The book was called The Late Shift, with the detective was Renee Ballard. At one point I had read that they talked about maybe doing that as a series, because that author, they're about, I don't know how many, but I've listened to several of those books, so I don't know if they're gonna do that or not. There was talks that they would, so that's a good series. I like it because I like cop shows, procedurals. I like that one, and also like because they play really great jazz in the audiobooks, and they continued that on the series. That was good. Also, they show On Call. It was a one season one. That one was really good too. I watched that. The Alex Cross one, the newer one, that seems to be good. I started watching that too. So yeah. Oh, I was telling you about books. Sorry. What am I reading in my Hoopla account? I love S.A. Cosby. He is my favorite because visually you can see everything that he says in his books. All the Sinners Bleed, Razor Blade, Tears, Blacktop Wasteland. I think he has King of Ashes is coming out. I look forward to reading it. It's coming out, I think, in June. I can't wait. But in the meantime, I am listening to My Darkest Prayer, and My Darkest Prayer is, it says, I handle the bodies, whether it's working at his cousin's funeral home or tossing around the local riffraff at his favorite bar. Nathan Waymaker is a man who knows how to handle the bodies. A former Marine and sheriff's deputy, Nathan has built a reputation in his small southern town as a man who can help when all other avenues have been exhausted. When a beloved local minister is found dead, his parishioners ask Nathan to make sure the death isn't swept under the rug. What starts out as an easy payday soon descends into a maze of mayhem filled with wannabe gangsters, vicious crime lords, porn stars, crooked police officers, and a particularly treacherous preacher and his mysterious wife. Nathan must use all his varied skills and some of his wit to navigate the murky waters of small town corruption, even as dark secrets of his own threaten to come to the surface. So I think with that, that's his first one, his first book ever, I think, because that came before Blacktop Wasteland, before Razor Blade Tears, and All the Sinners Bleed. So I'm listening to that. I'm also reading All About Love. That's by our beloved Bell Hooks. I'm also listening to Isaac's Song, which is written by Dr. Daniel Black. Isaac is at a crossroads in his young life. Growing up in Missouri, the son of a caustic, hard-driving father, he was conditioned to suppress his artistic pursuits and physical desires, notions that didn't align with the traditional view of masculinity. But now in the late 80s, Isaac has finally carved out a life of his own. He is sensitive and tenderhearted and has built up the courage to seek out a community. Yet just as he begins to embrace who he is, two social catalysts, the AIDS crisis and the Rodney King attack, collectively extinguish his hard-earned joy. As at a therapist's encouragement, Isaac begins to write down his story. In the process, he taps into a creative energy that will send him on a journey back to his family, his ancestral home in Arkansas, and the inherited trauma of the nation's dark past. But a surprise discovery will either unlock the truth he's seeking or threaten to derail the life he's fought so hard to claim. So those are the three books that I've really been listen to. Realistically, with my schedule and writing, I sometimes at best get a chapter a night or a chapter every other day as I ride the bus to work or ride to or do my errands. So those are some good books. If you like romance novels or smut or erotica, let me tell you, regardless of the book, the narrator makes the book. And there is a narrator. Her name is, what is her name? They didn't put it here. Hang on. Sherry Peel. I started hearing Sherry Peel on a mystery that was by Tracy Clark. I can't remember. I think it's Runners, something Runners. I don't know, but it's a detective series set of books, and that's why I heard Sherry Peel. She also did two other books that I liked. I liked the way she narrated them. There was this book in this series called Seaside Cafe, and I can't remember the other one. It was this bed and breakfast that was in North Carolina, and Sherry Peel was the reader for that. And the book itself was by Rochelle Ehlers. And so that's how I started listening to Sherry Peel. And so sometimes on my streaming devices for audiobooks, I look up the narrator, and Sherry Peel was, listen, I didn't read to see what the book was. I just was like, oh, okay, cool. So I will call Dirty Kisses, Dirty Love, Dirty Hearts. It's by Kenya Dixon. Let me double check. No, Kenya Wright. Sorry. Kenya Wright is the author of those. I have never read any of her books. I will call her books, minus the fact that it's erotica and smut and somewhat of romance. I will call that street lit. So if you've ever listen to street literature that doesn't or may or may not include the sex, then it's there's a lot of street literature. So I feel like me saying it that way diminishes it. Street literature is a good genre. I think there are a lot of definitely good people that I have read or listened to their books that are good. Because when I think street lit, I think Donald Goins. I think Iceberg Slim. Iceberg Slim is the Pimp series, Mama Black Widow, think the movie White Boy Rick. Those follow books in many ways. So, and there was another set of authors. It's a couple that did a whole series. I think there were like 7. The murder mamas. It was something. I don't know how I ended up. I think I saw it when I worked at Barnes and Noble because somebody was asking about that book, and then I started looking them up. But I read a lot of different genres. Some of it is useful, helpful. Some of it, hey, you like what you like. I listen to all types of books. I like to go to book talks, hear authors talk about fiction, nonfiction, scholarship. I like it. It has a place. So I guess we're gonna call this video Wiley's thoughts on random things. I hope that you're taking care of yourself. I am gonna get off of here and go cook some dinner. I'm still trying to decide what I'm gonna make. It's either gonna be hamburgers or I'm going to reheat that spaghetti that I made and watch some TV because I really don't think that I'm writing tonight. I doubt it. We'll see. Anyway, peace. Take care of yourself.